It will tell you in a little bit.
Okay, so here we are for the next podcast. I lost track now. Is this number 3 or 4? Or is
I
it
think
2?
3.
3, okay. Wow, it's hard to keep track after 2.
I don't know, because we have a few lives on Instagram, so I don't know if those count. Maybe we had 3 lives, so maybe
Did
this
we do
is
3
4.
there? Oh, okay, so we might be up to 4 or 5, maybe.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So interesting things happening in the world. What's happening in South America where you are?
Oof, it's like being in blender right now, because our big neighbors, I'm in Uruguay, so our big neighbors in Brazil, they just had elections,
Mhm.
and it's very confusing since they were using the same kind of computers, Dominion computers, just like in the States.
Yeah.
So they're easily hacked, and many people are complaining that this was fraud, that these elections are not valid. So at the moment, people cannot go into the airport like in Sao Paulo. Everything is stopped. They're stopping the traffic. People are on the streets all the time because some are celebrating and some are saying the elections were fraud. So it's a big deal. I'm going to
We've been
Brazil
hearing
tomorrow,
about that,
so I'll
actually.
know more. I'm going tomorrow to Brazil, so I'll know more about it.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'd like to see what you find out from the people there, because
Yeah.
here and in the States, we get all kinds of weird news about different things. It depends which, whether it's mainstream media or if it's independent reporters.
Yeah. Well,
So,
the thing where I find my news, I just have a channel that is called Real News or Breaking News in
mhm.
Telegram, and that's where I usually check my news.
Yeah, is that pretty reliable?
Yeah. Yes. And it doesn't have fact checkers, telling you all the time this is not correct, unless my friend Mary is on it. Every time I send her something, that she fact checks everything.
She does. Oh, yeah, right. You told me
I
about her.
believe she is a paid fact checker right now. I think that's what she does for a living.
Oh.
I tell her it's sunny today, and she sends me something saying, fact check, this is what the left said, and this is for the right.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And what about Uruguay? How's it going in Uruguay?
Uruguay, it's Uruguay, we are like out of the loop. So there's a lot of things going on, but it's like not too many people are paying attention really to what's happening. It's like everywhere else, it's so divided. So if you say something, it must be white or black, and they don't see all the grays in between. So if you say something like, I don't believe in this, also you must be on the opposite side.
Yeah,
and it's not really true. You don't necessarily have to be on the opposite side. You can discern, and you can have your own mind about it, or see everything as one, same team, same players. I always tell people, here we have two main soccer teams, okay? And what they don't understand is that when those players are against each other, there's usually the National League where they play together. So it doesn't matter here if they are, Republicans, Democrats, or black and white, or red and yellow. There is something above where they are together, and they cheer, and they have whiskey, and they make plans. So that's the big picture that we all have to see.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting. You mentioned about you're either on this side or that side, because the globalist, and they want to, they've been wanting to have a one world government for more than 150 years or so. To do that, you must divide and conquer. And the plan, according to this letter that was found from 1865 or 1868 or something like that in the United States from the Illuminati, said that they would have 3 world wars, and World War I and II were to separate the world into 2. So you had the, the Eastern Bloc countries, Russia and those guys, and then the Western countries. And World War III was the war that would bring everybody under a one world government. And so, you divide and conquer, you pit people against each other, like, the Democrats and the Republicans, or the conservatives and the liberals. You put people in fear of death. You control the media. You censor the population, that anybody who goes against the current government, whatever that is, them, whatever they set up, and all of that. And then eventually, you get everybody under one monetary system, under one government. And now with, the digital coins, are getting ready to first national, each country has their own digital coin, but they're going for a worldwide digital coin that will allow them to actually, spy on everybody at the same time. And, it'll have all your information connected to the coin, and they could, if you want to donate money to freedom movement or something like that, you can't because they'll block
It
it.
happened in Canada last year.
Yeah. Oh, right. With the truckers. Yeah.
Yeah, it happened
they
in
just,
Canada.
they just,
You
they
know,
took
and
their
it's
money.
so bizarre, and so many people were thinking that that was just fair, like it's your own money, and they froze the bank. Not only a digital coin, they froze their bank accounts.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So just get your money out, have it under the mattress, but don't
Yeah.
whatever is not in your hand is not yours.
Exactly.
It can be easily taken.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we have seen it. It's not like a conspiracy theory. It happened.
No, it's actually happening. Yeah. And now they've come out with documents proving that the US government was colluding and working side by side with the social media companies, with Facebook and Twitter and Google and all these companies, and telling them what to censor, what not to censor, and things like that.
Yeah.
And and the documents are published. This one company, this organization that got their hands on them. And I mean, it's just, this is so, it's really interesting because, I started learning about this stuff a long time ago, and I thought things were really bad in the 80s. And then the 90s came, and then the 2000s came. I'm like, my God, they're really, they're really going for it step by step. But then 2020, it just like immediately, I think we figured out in March or something, that we're in war. This is it. This is World War III. This is happening. And this is a year before, Russia moved into Ukraine, even though they started working on that for the last 20 years. But so here we are.
Yeah, but I remember us talking on March 13th. That was the day that it was the pandemic was started here in Uruguay. I remember us talking about it, and we said, well, this is going to be an interesting ride, because we know this is about control.
Right.
We know, because it's the same as when we were kids. Our parents used to say that there was, here it was the guy with the bags that was coming to get the kids. So don't go out at night because the guy in the bag is outside in the street. So now it was like the same story reloaded for adults. Don't go out because there's a virus creeping in. For me, it was like, who's believing this? Who's actually in the name of God believing there's like the movie The Fog coming, and people dropping dead? Nobody ever saw that in their neighborhood. We saw it on TV, yes, on TV, but nobody ever saw it in live. So that's how they prepare. The war is in our mind. So,
exactly.
so it's in our minds and for our souls. So they are going, like attacking different parts of us. So because of the use of psychotronic warfare, they can actually, through waves, implement stages of fear, anxiety, panic, in different times of the day. And
Yeah.
it's very weird to see. That's why they have us locked down, watching the news, and in permanent fear. And that's when our system, our mind, starts like to overload on information, and all we do is panic. And in panic, nobody can think.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nobody can think, nobody analyze. Now they are telling you, I don't know, this is a what is it called, the global warming thing. Oh, I have clots. Yeah, it's global warming, but I'm in
Yeah.
winter and it's snowing, and it's like nobody is analyzing the obvious. People
well,
are
there's
so
no,
scared to skip the obvious.
well, they've taken away the people's ability to think
Discern.
logically and to see clearly. They've taken over the minds of people. And I started studying psychology in the 70s. And first you learn about Pavlov's dogs, for instance, right?
Yeah.
Where they ring a bell, they feed the dog. They ring a bell, they feed the dog, and then they ring the bell and the dog starts salivating, even though they don't have the food. And they get you early in school. You ring a bell, you go to recess, they ring a bell, you go to lunch, ring a bell, you go home, those kind of
Yeah.
things. But then I learned about subliminal advertising and programming and those kinds of things back in the 70s and late 70s and early 80s. And then you find out that the governments have been doing this through television since the 60s.
Yeah. It's
And
tell a vision. They tell you about a vision. Tell a
yeah,
vision and you believe it.
television, yeah, that's good. That's very, I like that. Yeah. And the thing is, they trigger all these fears. So they get to the point where all they have to do is say there's a pandemic, there's an emergency, there's a war, or we're under threat or whatever. And people react. They go into stress and fear, which blocks your abilities to see and know. I mean, intuitively and spiritually or psychically, or
Yeah.
even clearly through the logical side of your brain, because fear does that. If it paralyzes you on some level. So, like, I think it was the 90s, they said, no, it was the 80s or 90s, they said there's an ice age was coming. There's global cooling for a long time,
Yeah. And
we have to be
actually,
ready
many
for that.
scientists are saying we are still on the ice age.
You're still, yeah, what does that
Yeah.
mean? Everybody's
So
got an ice machine, so yeah, okay.
we are, but according to studies, we are not warming. We are icing. You understand? Unless you go and believe Greta and all the,
Yeah. And what people don't understand is, like, it's been more than 20 years they talked about global warming. How much has it really warmed up? 1.5 degrees or something compared to 20 years ago? I mean, it's hardly anything, because the earth goes through these cycles, but people, again, say, well, majority of scientists say that we're causing global warming. Really? I mean,
No, and especially the real scientists are also censored,
yeah,
or
they lose their funding or whatever. Yeah.
exactly, or categorized as they are baffling, or they are, talking wrong, or, they were incapacitated. That's why they are not working in the scientific community right now. Why? Because they are not allowing themselves to be sponsored by. Once you are sponsored by, you are bought. So you have to say whatever they tell you to say.
Yeah. That's what the pharmaceutical companies do. They give you a
Exactly.
pill and they say, prove that this works.
Yes.
Find evidence that this can help. Yeah.
Yes. And by that, and now that you mentioned the pharmaceutical, what happened in Europe right now, with Mrs. Small saying, well, no, we didn't test it. We didn't have time. What? I thought you were selling it to me as efficient and proof.
Yeah, 95% effectiveness or efficiency,
Yeah.
whatever.
It was going down, 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 down by the week. Well, it's
I know, it's
87,
criminal.
it's
It's criminal.
45. It is
Yeah.
criminal.
Yeah.
But many people are so deep into this web that they cannot, even if you show them the CEO of a pharmaceutical telling them, oopsie, they do not believe it.
Yeah.
Like I was talking about this friend, she told me that her lips were not moving at the same pace that the words. So probably that was fake. I was like, okay.
Oh, come on.
You win again.
Here's the
Go
thing though,
take another.
when people are hypnotized, as most of the population is,
Yes.
they follow orders. So if they're told not to see or not to
Exactly.
understand or to interpret this as that, or when you hear conspiracy theory, then they just don't even listen because it's all fake,
Mhm.
and all these things, it works.
Yeah. The funny thing is that a conspiracy theory, or the title conspiracy theorist, is just people that study and are visionaries, because it's no longer a conspiracy. Things that we said in 2020, it
Yeah,
happened.
everything's happened already. Oh, yeah,
Just prove me
exactly.
wrong. You put me this title. It's not theory now anymore.
Yeah,
Just
and
prove me wrong.
of course, they keep changing what they say, and
Yeah.
they say something the opposite. So, well, I never said that other thing. We've been saying this
Yeah.
all along.
No, they said
yeah.
we never said the vaccine was going to um
Protection
be
from
protection. And it was like, whoever takes the vaccine will no longer need a mask. It was a lie.
yeah.
Whoever do this.
Well, actually, that's true because you don't even need a mask. Never
I
did
know.
anything
Yes.
anyway.
Yes. But
That's
people
it.
got the vaccine, was still with a mask,
Yeah.
still not going into places, still not seeing the family, and still got COVID.
Yeah.
So it was a combo. It's hilarious.
But here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go
did
ahead.
you want to say something?
No, I was going to start dismembering the war.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, there's a very good chance. I'm gonna try to look serious now.
Me too.
No,
Go.
no, that just looks weird. Okay, so anyway, the thing is, a lot of people are dying from all kinds of things. The vaccines, and the vaccines themselves. There's a lot of studies that say, they're creating like a spike in cancer, for example, and heart attacks and all these things, and these blood clots going through your whole body, that they've never seen before. And there's a lot of stuff going on, basically, and a lot of people are dying. And then there's this war going, beginning, and World War III coming. And, you hear these news commentators, even the good ones that are talking about this, saying, all these people are dying. Why would they want to kill so many people? Why would they want a nuclear war? Why are they pushing towards this? And sometimes I wonder, is this rhetorical? I mean, do they secretly know why, but they don't want to say it out loud? Or do they really not know? I mean, and there's been this talk about depopulation for a long time. This isn't a new subject. It's been, for more than 100 years, they've been talking about there's too many people on the planet and the resources, which is total bullshit. But so, people say, well, why is there going to be maybe 2 billion people gone? And that's a pretty conservative guess, actually, if they can continue doing what they're doing. But we have to look now, what's the spiritual side of this? what's really going on. And this is something that we don't usually talk about in public. And I'm sure there's a couple of people now going out with this. There's this guy, Mike Adams, who's the health ranger, and he's been talking about the spiritual side. And even Putin
Yes.
did a speech a couple of weeks ago saying, that the Western countries, the leaders are demons. They're basically demonic entities doing demonic things, which is, I have to say, it's been my perspective for a long time. I didn't really eliminate all the other leaders, and I didn't, I figured most governments were basically controlled by entities.
Yes.
Or dark
This
forces.
Laura Eisenhower too. She's also talking about that.
Yeah, she was talking about this a few years ago.
Yeah, she started it in March 2020. She gave a very nice speech about this. All
they
the
say
layers.
Her father was the president.
Grandfather.
Her grandfather, okay. And he was actually a pretty good president, from what I understand. He was a general in the army or something, and he ran for office, and he was a true patriot. But in any event, so we don't have to go through all the details, but basically, most people, or many people, if you've read the Bible, or if you've, any other kind of spiritual scriptures, you hear about this war in heaven between the angels and the fallen angels, or different kind of entities, about light and dark and all these things. And this planet here is a reflection of the spiritual world. And this whole dimension was created for one purpose, is to resolve this war. So here we are, and we're looking at possible huge escalation in war. And that's because things are escalating on a spirit level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And go ahead.
No, that's as above, so below. So
right.
Basically, this scenario, what I think, my perspective, that this scenario that we have here on Earth right now is to truly use our free will. That's why we always have the option to say no. But the light respects our free will, but the darkness does not. So it's always trying to lure us into convincing us into voting for them. Yeah. And even though we have all the information, even though we have everything into our hand to actually see it, we have become so lazy and so hypnotized and so like, oh, just give me that and let's get over with, that we don't choose correctly. So basically, this is what's happening now. We are lazy and easily manipulated to choose something that is not convenient for us. And that's how they sometimes feel they are winning. This lately with this medicine, it's a big example for it. Yeah. Nobody push you, nobody force you, nobody put a gun to your head. They threaten, but you had the power to say no. But this is something that has happened for a long time, that the New Age or whoever made people believe that no does not exist. But the universe doesn't hear no. I have many students telling me that. Oh, but the universe doesn't understand no. Oh, yes, it does. It's just you are being convinced to be nice, but not to be good, to be nice. Yeah. So people that are nice are easily pushed and run over. I can be nice, but I can be a badass too. Okay,
exactly.
because we all can,
Yeah,
but people are so scared to say no, because of the judgment, because of what could happen, because I'm a bad person, that they go ahead. And this, in this scenario, is very clear. Our free will has gone to shit.
yeah, that's exactly how they're fighting this battle, actually,
Mhm.
is because it's just like the old vampire movies,
Yeah.
you have to be invited in, the vampire has to be invited into the house.
Mhm.
Otherwise, they can't go in. Well, it's the same thing. They're telling us in this dimension, they're telling people what they're going to do ahead of time. The WEF, the World Economic Forum, they're the ones behind all of this. And they changed the name of the organization like 10 or 12 years ago, but basically they've been meeting every year for more than 100 years, planning wars and, the economies and all that. So anyway, they always let you know ahead of time. Like already Bill Gates, for instance, and Fauci are warning for the next virus coming up soon,
Yeah.
after, and just like they did before COVID,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and yeah.
They have pretty good forecast,
Oh
because
yeah,
the ones
they're
that
psychic as
created.
hell, right?
But I just don't get, when people talk to me about these people, it's like, who named them owners of the health of humanity? I didn't vote for them. I didn't give them my authority, any authority to be telling me what to do. Who are you?
Yeah,
Who the hell are you? Especially knowing your background. Fauci with the AZT medicine for AIDS, you flunk. So why are you given a second chance? Why are people, who dares call themselves, I'm the science?
I am the
Come
science.
on.
Yeah, I know.
You're not in a sci-fi movie. You're not
Yeah,
Iron Man. You're not whoever,
yeah,
you think you are.
yep.
I just don't get
Well,
it.
yeah. Well, these guys are, Fauci and Gates. They're just basically very useful idiots who don't
Puppets.
really
Yeah.
know what's going on, or they're totally possessed and they know it, or whatever. But you know, everybody has most people have their price in the world. I shouldn't say everybody because there are exceptions, but most people can be bought quite easily. I mean,
Mm.
look at the science and how it's flipped and how everything is backwards. I mean, if you can't describe what a woman is, there's something pretty fucked up in the system somewhere.
Well, you're not a biologist. That's why you can't.
Yeah, if you're not a biologist, yeah. But I identify, believe it or not, as a biologist.
Oh, okay, good.
So yeah, I can say, I think I know the difference between a man and a woman. But
Yeah.
anyway, forget about
Oh,
that.
I think no, no, no. It's not, forget about that, because I
Okay.
think that's the late. When I said let's dismember this war, is
Mhm.
going in so many levels that
So many,
now
yeah.
it's going into our physical body beyond imagination. Is
Yeah,
to make you doubt that your own body is not yours.
exactly. Yeah,
First it was making you doubt about your thoughts, your mind, your ideas. But
yeah.
now it's either, are you sure you're a guy? Are you sure you're a man?
Yeah, you don't want to be a
Because,
girl today?
yeah, because we can change that, we can fix it.
Yeah, exactly. And they're
And
getting
and
kids really young.
poof,
They're
and
starting
now
this.
and now it's going into border. It was borderline ridiculous, and I thought it couldn't get worse. But yesterday I saw something that is like, okay, now this is the worst. That now people can perceive themselves as a cat or a dog in the school. So you can be meowing and wowing. I don't know how it says, saying wow, ruff, ruff, in the class, and a regular student complained about the noise because he couldn't listen to the teacher
Because
because of
everybody
the
was barking.
barking, because of a kid was barking. So, and walking with a leash and in
Mhm.
school. So he complained about this barking in the class. He was expelled for being phobic. against other people that perceive themselves differently. So tell me we are not, going literally to the extremes and to just killing our race. This is getting ridiculous.
Yeah, and this is an old tactic from the military. They break down your personality and they break down your identity, and then they rebuild you as a soldier, killing machine, or whatever they need at the moment. And now they're breaking down identity and the basic foundation of identity as male and female, and even human being, I guess now in some areas. And you wonder, people must wonder, okay, what does that have to do with us? I mean, why us in this spiritual war? And the reason is that the battle is going on within each of us. And these entities, these dark forces, in order to win this war, they have to win it here in this dimension, because that's why one of the reasons we're here. So this is why it's important for people to be aware of who they really are, to become who they really are, to choose the light over the darkness, the truth over the lies, and those types of things, because this is what will resolve this in the next few years. It's not going to go on forever. It's already gone on forever, but we're coming to the end of it. And this is why things are so totally insane right now and don't make sense. And so, spiritually speaking, how does it benefit them to kill off 2 billion people? Well, this is part of the game plan for them to win the war. If you want to crush the hopes and dreams and freedoms of people, or independent thought, or belief in the light, the true light of the universe, then it has to be emotional impact. You have to break them down step by step. So you take away their identity, you make them doubt everything, you make them believe lies, or any lie that doesn't make any sense. And pretty soon you have them right where you want them, and you start, people start dying left and right. And that even makes them more afraid. Are we losing all of humanity? And they're, so the next thing you know, they've got you, worshiping the wrong, or a fake false god, or a false reality. And that's the thing, because in this world, you could create any kind of reality, and it could work for you or against you.
Yes. Well, this, what you're saying, just flunk eventually, because that's what this alien kid was doing, creating this metaverse, trying to get people to live in an alternative reality, with this spooky things, and so that keeps you away from being here and now.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like step by step, methodically taking you away from what is real in reality, so and it flunk, thank God, just people didn't buy it all the way. And the other thing that you were saying, that people are dying left and right, that's happening now. If you see statistics, I like to look at numbers. So if you see statistics, like in every country in the world except Africa, and you see why, people are dying like at 10% more monthly. 10% of the population monthly. It's crazy.
I know. Yeah.
It's
and that's
crazy.
going to increase. And that's going to increase.
Oh yeah, it's because it was given 2 years to see the real results, and it's going on 1.5 years now. So we'll get more, and it's an Holocaust.
It is, yeah.
It's the biggest die-off of humanity today, and it's done in such a specific way that people cannot see it. It's so obvious that people cannot see it. Like darkness, it's so obvious that you can see it. So dark.
Yeah, but that's true. It's very clever how they designed the virus itself and also the vaccines to create a slow death over time.
Yeah.
And if you're younger, you're stronger, so it might take longer. The ones who, I mean, all the athletes that have been collapsing on the fields and
Ridiculous.
the age groups between 18 and was it
40.
49 or 40 or something, and has been what, couple, like 2 or 3 times more in that age group for, and they call them what was it, sudden adult death
Yes, of
syndrome,
course.
SADS, and which they call unexplained deaths. And they say, oh, that's been around forever. Yeah, but not at these rates. I mean, we're talking about, well, many of the studies show that it's like 10,000 people a day in the world are dying from this, sudden adult death syndrome.
Yes.
And it's, I mean, it's so ridiculous. I'm not laughing at what's happening. I'm laughing at the people that just can't see it, but people are waking up. That's the good news.
Yeah. Well, you see this lady now in the States saying, okay, let's do an amnesty. Okay. Yeah, we said pretty nasty things, but now let's do an amnesty on COVID. Like, let's erase everything and let's be friends again. Same lady that used to say, don't have dinner with your parents, you are a grandpa killer, and let's have your husband fired, and let's have your kid with 2-year-old mask in kindergarten, and blah 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 blah. So it's very easy to think you're retracting of something when you have done so much damage. It's not going to be that way, So that's creating another war, because instead of helping out, it's like, really, you just want me to forget everything, so it's creating more resentment. So people should be really pure and true of what they want to explain or say nowadays about this, because it created resentment before, a separation, and now it's going to create a new kind of separation, trying to get together. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, and I always thought about true love, like you see all these movies, even if I can be with you one more minute and then everything explodes, I'll be there to be that one more minute. And then when we really had the chance to say, I'd rather go and be with you and stay with you, even though I die tomorrow of a weird virus that is on TV, nobody did that. People closed their doors, left their parents in a home. They didn't go. They follow orders.
Yeah, they follow, exactly. Well, that's what they're programmed to do since they were little kids. Is respect authority and do what you're told. And it's the generation of independent thought is quickly dying now because they're like at least 40 years and older, mostly much older, because even the ones born in like anytime in the 80s, were raised overprotected, told, believe what you're told, don't think, don't figure things out for yourself and all that.
Yes, everything is done. And now with this generation that looks everything in a phone, those things can easily be changed, people. Please learn this. Try to find it in a book, especially in an old book.
Old book, yeah.
I try to have books everywhere, and I'm trying to look for stuff in older books, because nowadays you're trying to find, I don't know what oregano oil is, and it's going to tell you maybe it's toxic, so you don't use it, and it's actually very good.
Yeah, just like they took, was it ivermectin, and
hydroxychloroquine,
and all the
CDS
things that would heal
yes
COVID. I mean, that's the kind of stuff. I got COVID in January 2020, and then I got it again in 2021. And I just took, vitamin D, vitamin C, ginger, just the basic stuff. I couldn't
Yes.
get ivermectin, and none of those things were available. But it's ridiculous that all these people have died, and all these people, and the governments have spent so much money, and so many businesses went out of business. But this is how you crush the spirit. This is how you destroy people's faith and hope in life and love and light. You have to extinguish all of those things to get them where they want you to be, which is to see darkness rather than light. To not seeing the light, or seeing God in all things, is basically seeing the light, seeing the good and the true in everybody and in everything. But it's a dark time now. People are not seeing the good in each other, or
But that's sorry, that's weapon of mass manipulation, is to poison the perspective.
Exactly.
So when you poison here, everything they see is bad, is negative, is nasty, is fearful.
Yeah,
It's
and that corrupts
hopeless.
all aspects
It's
of life.
hopeless. Yeah. So there's no point for now.
Exactly.
Like, why don't you speak up? No, there's no point. Why don't you say no? Oh, no, I can't, because there's no point. So you're giving up.
Yeah.
And as long as we can breathe and walk and see, there's always hope, and there's always a chance. I don't want those people around me. You're going to be in a battle, and they're going to be like, there's no point. Like Sparta. No, fuck it. Let's go.
Exactly.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
What people don't understand is that freedom is never given. You have to take it. You have to fight for it on one level or another. Otherwise, you'll never be free. And freedom begins here. Mentally. You have to be mentally free. It's not so much about, I could do whatever I want to do. That's not freedom. A lot of people can do that. Doesn't mean that they're free emotionally or spiritually or mentally. Freedom is about having independent thought, making your own decisions, choosing your path, living who you are, not trying to be who everybody wants you to be, or not being afraid to be judged. As long as you care about what other people think, or as long as you care about what other people can do to you, you're never going to be free.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
I'm going to have a column in a radio right now, and the title that I chose is To Discern, Time to Discern.
Good.
And I open it because it has two verbs in Spanish. One is di, that is from decir, to speak, to talk, and cernir is to, like when you pass flour into another container,
sift in English.
Yes.
Yeah.
So sift the information, see what is good, what is true. So I like that title. Yep.
So basically, I just want to mention for people that have not had our training, we've been training people to prepare for this time in history since the 1980s, and with a couple of courses, the Avatar courses. But in the meantime, find some kind of meditation. We also teach meditation, but go within yourself and find yourself and be yourself, and start looking at things from a place of what's true and what's real. In other words, when you look at people, don't look at the superficial parts of people or yourself. Look at, we're all children of God, or children of the light, or children of the universe, however you want to look at it. We are all divine spiritual beings, but we've lost it. It's been buried. We've been kicked out of paradise, or however you want to say it. It's time to come home to who we are, and to be who we are, and to reconnect with ourselves and with each other in the right way, in a true way, with respect and love and awareness that we are all children of the universe. Basically, we're brothers and sisters. That's it.
Yeah, and very powerful people.
Yeah, we have the power. I mean, this
Yeah.
is something, there's like,
Yeah.
less than 1% of the population is controlling everything. And
Yes.
these people are looking out for only themselves. And but basically behind them are literally evil, demonic, dark forces that are manipulating and controlling the world. I mean, look how far we are from nature or from a natural way of living. Even the food has been contaminated. Everything's been contaminated. The schools, the learning, people's minds and perspectives and thoughts,
The
everything.
air,
The air, yeah.
the air, the sky, everything.
Yeah.
Especially, sometimes I think, why is more in Europe than here? Here we have clear skies, not a cloud. And you go to Europe and it's
Yeah.
of course, but this how you call it, dynasty of people live there. So this dynasty, they need to lower the vibration of where they are for them to be better, not for you to be better.
Yeah, they're creating an environment for themselves.
Exactly.
And this
They
is how
need
they get into the minds of people, is they make you more and more negative, mostly expecting the worst possible scenarios rather than the best, or being afraid to take action and to live life with passion and adventure and all those things, to play it safe. And
Yes.
safety is like the worst existence.
I know. I know.
We're meant to live courageously and take chances and have
Yes.
adventures and all that stuff. But this
Yeah,
is how they get you.
the people that choose safety to keep freedom, they lose freedom and safety.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
it's a
It's like
double
choosing death.
the opposite way. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So just be brave, live with passion, live today,
Yeah,
and just listen to your heart. You'll know what to do. Not sometimes not to your mind, because if you listen to everything we said, our mind is so corrupted. So just listen to your heart.
yes.
Mm.
Okay, are we done?
I think so. It's been an hour,
All
so we
right.
don't make it too long.
Yeah, it's been a little less than an hour. That's okay. Okay. Thank you all for watching. If you
Thank you.
enjoy this, let us know somehow. I'm not sure how, wherever we post it. Give us some kind of response, because we're kind of new at this.
Yes.
We've
Ciao.
only done 4 or 5. Okay. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
And